You're already here. Thank you so much for joining this one. We are going to talk about one of the interesting topics there. Where the last year, when 2 years back, when I started to do online sessions, I had a framework. Then over a period of time, I kind of evolved my framework because a lot of people are copying me. Like, hey, don't copy. I'm just starting off. There are people who are actually making money, who are established leaders in the whole industry. They started to copy me. I was like, hey, dude, why do you have to copy with the guy who's just 25 years of age? Like, hey, but then they just had to copy. And something that was actually working for me, I was like, I don't want to copy anyone else, but then I just want to create something of my own where I am connected to it. So these are the 4 strategies that I'm going to share you in any session that I do online. Say we are on 25th of June 2022, and if you're looking at this video, like say couple of months later, couple of years later, maybe the whole strategy that I'm using is kind of changed and evolved, and nothing that I'm going to share, maybe I'm not even using a single thing, but this is where I got started, and which got me a lot of results, which got my members when I was coaching them, my members, my communities members, my mentors communities members, when I'm doing a coaching call for group, it's group coaching call for say more than 10, 15, 20 people, all the way to 100, 150 people. It's like even beyond that. You can just apply this strategy for, like, see, all the way from 10 people to 150, see, even beyond that. I have times like 110 members of a group sessions. But when you apply this is going to give you results, because this was one of the most powerful way of, not, this is not for the cold audience. This is not for the cold audience. This is for the members inside your community, where they are there to learn something from you. Second, you already have established the credibility, and you are definitely going to add value to them. You need to give me like a minute over here. Welcome. Now, thank you so much for joining. And in this one video, we are going to talk about something really nice. So, phase number 1, we are going to go with abbreviations so that you register abbreviations. So, phase number 1 is context. Phase number 2 is content. Phase number 3 is contact. Phase number 4 is close. Cool. We are going to divide that into the 4 categories. It can be for 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours, 24 hours. This is going to work for you. 24 hours to nahi hoga. It was just metaphor, muhavara sort of a thing. So phase number 1 is context. When you start off a session, people need to know exactly what you're teaching them, what this 90 minutes are going to be, what these 2 hours are going to be, because for them, you were the priority, because that's where they left all the priorities. Kids, school, hospitals, education, groceries, attending someone. Like, they left everything which were a priority and made your session a priority. Cool. So you need to say them what they are going to get in the first go itself. So first, in the context setting, that there's going to be orientation. What goes in orientation? What am I going to teach you? What can you expect out of me? These are the things that we are not going to talk about. These are the things that we are definitely going to talk about. And this is the duration of the whole session. And if you can cover all these 5 things. So when you are covering these 5 things in the orientation, I not wrote this, you can just note, you can just go rewind, make a list of all these 5 questions, because these 5 questions are going to be extremely important to filter out people who came to the session and who were expecting something else. If they're expecting something else from you, you're not going to talk eventually about it. So they might as well leave from the session. So you don't get any heat or a negative comment over there. So you set the context right, the expectations right. This is what I'm going to teach. Okay, this is what I'm not going to even go close to it. So there are there was one session that I did where I was like, I'm going to help you launch an official podcast, first ever. So who's already into launching podcast, they don't come. Who is just there to learn about podcast, not for them. Who want to launch the first podcast, this session is for them. So this is how you set the context right, expectations right. This is what I'm going to teach. This is what we are not going to talk about. Setting it right in the first go step so that they are told. Then to blend in with people, no matter how old you are in this industry, no matter how great of a person you become in a way, but then always ask your members of the community to introduce themselves. Always ask, like, just, okay, what's your name, which city are you from, and anything, what is, like, anything, what's your aspirations, stuff like that. So that something that I've learned in my very first session that I did for my mentors community, like that was my one of first ever sessions in the online world where I had like 90 people sitting and I was drinking for the first time. Being an introvert, I was so scared that day, so nervous. Forget about being nervous. I was actually literally scared, where I did not know because there were standards that had to be met, and I was like doing it for the very first time. Something that got me blended in like 2 minutes was the introduction part of it. I asked them, okay, can you just introduce yourselves? Where are you from? What money are you making? Which city are you from? And what's your goal and stuff like that. Like when you ask that and when you read the names out, what happens is I got blended in very easily. It's like I know these people, even I don't know them. I just know these people just by voicing it down. And when that happens, there's like bond built. You with them with them. Cool. And once their introduction is done, give your introduction, then move on to course acquisition. Like tell them what you stand for. Any session, like course acquisition, rules of engagement, and then something that I have always been a fascinated person when it comes to discussions is I put the whole room in the breakout room. We do generally on Zooms, right? So I put the whole group into breakout rooms, like 3 members or 5 members each, so that the members gets to talk to themselves. Like you're letting them interact with them. Like there are 2 people, 3 people, 4 people just interacting with each other. What this does is they are not being interactive. They are communicating with each other. And if the moment I'm not just when I'm talking about if you apply this one strategy of putting them inside a breakout room, you are going to get first whole attention of the whole session. 1. Second, they are going to be so happy. Third, you are going to get the results you are there for them to get 100%. Scientist doesn't say 100%, say 99.345% you are going to get the results. You are going to make them get the results. That is one of the most powerful, something that I've learned from Blair Singer, one of the coaches that I've got. He did not taught us that. He put us into a room and I saw the power of it. And one of the things that I am fascinated about is generally people are not smiling when they are attending a session. When I put them into a room, and when I pull them off after like 10 minutes of a breakout room, what happens is all of them are smiling. What happens is all of them are smiling because they were already engaged in a conversation. When you let people talk, they are going to get results. When you let people talk, they are definitely going to move forward in what they're doing. If you just keep on giving gyan, they're not going to listen to you. This video is more on the lines of gyan so that you have a framework. Cool. I cannot how can I possibly let you talk in a recording? Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Say tara riri turura. Anyway, phase number 2. So phase number 1 gets concluded by context. Phase number 2 is the content part of it. Anything that you want to cover. Generally context, for me, it takes 45 minutes. 10 minutes there, 10 minutes like generally take 45 minutes. Content part is more on the lines of what you came there to teach them. And the context, as you said, you're delivering the content over here. It can go for 10 minutes, it can go for 15 minutes, it can go for 25, 30 minutes. Don't go beyond that. If you are going beyond that, break it into 2 pieces. I had one of the sessions which went for 3 hours, the whole session, but my content was just for 15 minutes. 10 to 15 because I kept it so simple. I just want to set the context right. They get the results very fast when I'm teaching them. So you share the topics and then you bring, again, once they learn something, you push them inside the breakout room again in the same group so that they can interact with themselves of what they've learned. It is one of the most powerful tool when you can, once I learn something, if I am now put inside the room where people have learned the same thing and I just want to share what I've learned. What happens is you are just talking one way. When you put them into a room, what happens is now there are 5 people talking to each other. Different receiving levels, different communication levels, different experiences. When they're blending their own experiences where they are in the life, when they're receiving it with what they're saying, everyone inside the room is going to have a different way of learning. So what is going to happen is there's going to be magic within each room. One of the most powerful ways. You bring them back. Third one, the phase 3 is one of the just contact, where contact as in phone me like a baat nahi karne ka hai. But contact is like it's open for a Q&A session. You have delivered, you made them talk, but then even some of them are going to have questions that they want to ask you because you made them work. You made them actually work. So once they come back, you contact, like you ask question answers with them. Once you ask question answers with them, you move on to the third phase. Phase number 4, close the whole session with the next logical step. Something that I've learned from Dr. Silver. You tell them what they have to do next. Okay, since you have launched your first podcast, for example, okay, now work on your YouTube channel. You have to launch a video after this one, or probably launch second podcast of this one, or something like that. So you tell them the next logical step, and if you have got any updates, you can share the updates, and then wrap up the whole video. That brings us to the conclusion of this one video. This is one of the most. It has worked for me. Got me crazy nice results. These 4 phases. I've got like one more phase I did not discuss with you, that was in the place of 3rd phase. There were total 5 phases that I originally have, but then I thought that's not going to work for this one video because it's more on the lens of content driven. So it would have been a demonstration version of it. I would have said you that. Now, thanks so much for making this video a part of your day. If you want to know about that one, probably I'll cover that one phase in a different video. You can search for online sessions. Again, you can just search for the same keyword. Probably you'll find a different video on this one. So thank you so much. Thanks so much for making me the video and the topic of part of the day. May peace and blessings upon you, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks a lot.